Hey everybody, are you 60 years old or older? If you are, you need to stay tuned today because we need to talk. Frank Thomas here from Wealth Generation Strategies. This video is really focused on anybody who's 60 years old or older. If you're younger, this is a good video to watch because hopefully it's an eye-opener for you too. Let me tell you a little bit of a backstory here. What's happened is I get the chance to talk into people's lives and see how they're doing financially in my local area. So I get to sit down with folks and see where they're standing. One thing that has been predominantly clear that I've seen over and over again is a real lack of planning when it comes to retirement funds. They've kind of, I find that so many people in life just kind of wing through life. I don't mean this to be a harsh video, but I'm gonna call it what it is. It scares the crap out of me. It really does, because I can see how I've done that in my life as well. So am I guilty of it? You bet I am. If you're under 60, if you're in your 20s watching this video, take heart. I have another video called The Simple Millionaire Maker. If you're in your 20s, you gotta watch it. You really got to watch it. When you turn 60 or 65 one day, because hopefully you will, that's what we're shooting for, you'll be in a very good place, and I promise you that. But to be honest with you, if you're already 60 and you're not putting a lot of thought into things, you should be scared. Like, I'm serious, you should be really scared. Let me get into my notes so that way I'm not jumping all over the place on you. The number one point is, what you don't know will hurt you. Some of these don't knows is you don't know where all your money goes because you really haven't got a good budget. You don't know how much you need to save for retirement, or you haven't saved anything. You don't know what you're going to get in government benefits if you're going to get government benefits. You don't know, you don't know, you don't know. This is the biggest thing I have seen over and over again. And things like, you don't know if you downgrade your house, what kind of difference it could make. I'm dead serious. I see this all the time. When I was in my late 50s, I realized that I was a little bit behind the eight ball now. I hadn't saved very much, and I really needed to get into saving. I needed to put together an action plan, and one of the things I had to do was, we had this big house, we raised our family in it, but we made the decision, my wife and I, that we're gonna sell this house. We're done, we're finished, we're moving on. And I was able to capitalize on the cash value that was in the house and solidify and amalgamate a lot of debt, but it did give me the ability to reduce the interest rates that I was paying on a brand new mortgage. And I was also able to start saving with earnest. That was the big point. Once I had done that, it made a huge difference. It all of a sudden completely spun things around. And I haven't got a lot of time. At 58, I'm starting to save with earnest. 58. But this next point that I want to talk about is, and I mentioned it quickly earlier, you don't have a clear budget. You don't know where your money really is going to. You get money coming in and you get money going out, and you don't know. It's just like you're a pipe, and you have some enjoyment along the way, but you don't know where the money is going. And that's got to scare you, because one day in retirement, that pipe that's feeding you the money, called the job, the job, could dry up if you haven't saved anything. That leads me to my third point. The one thing that we've lost when we're approaching our 60s, or we're in our 60s, is we've lost the element of time and the compound interest that goes with time. Wow, if you have a 10, 15, even better, a 20 or 25 year window, compound interest outweighs your savings easily double what you can put away. So if you put away $1, if you had a 20-year window or a 25-year window, that dollar could be worth $4 in that period of time, and you only put $1 in. It sounds crazy. If you're already 60, if you're lucky, you might double it once by the time you hit 65. If you're really fortunate, you probably won't, but if you're really fortunate, you might double it once. So that dollar becomes worth $2. Big difference. And it's all about time. We've lost that precious, I call it a financial superpower, and that is the the compounding interest of time. Wow. The one thing that we do have though that's going for us, or you should, is that you should be in the highest earning years of your life. You should be at a senior level, intermediate and senior level for sure, of whatever trade you're in. You should be working hard to earn as much as you can. And also too, your expenses should be going down. They really should be going down at this point in time in your life. That's really, really important. If your expenses aren't going down, and the money, you don't have anything left over at the end of the month, and you haven't got a budget, and you haven't done any of this, and you're just kind of winging it, you're in a world of hurt, man. I'm being straight up with you. And I can tell you with experience, because I've watched people go into retirement and they don't know what to do. The only thing that they're looking towards is the grave, because they haven't got anything else. It shouldn't be that way. I'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm going to talk to you how to get out of this predicament. Before I do that, hey, if you're enjoying this video, and I'm sorry I'm being a little harsh, but I think it's a really important topic to cover. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you're still listening and you're in your 20s or 30s or even 40s, listen up, especially when I get into trying to fix this problem. If you're getting good value from this, be sure to subscribe. I love it when I see people subscribe and jump on to the bandwagon. You can see the rest of my videos as they come out. I'll be promising that I'm going to be sharing a lot of good details with you. I have some really great videos coming up this week. So make sure you subscribe and you'll see it coming up in your recommended feed. Okay, so let's get into a fix. How do we fix this problem? Now, the fix is going to be multifaceted. Earlier, I alluded to the fact that we should be in the highest earning potential years of our lives. And you should have a budget. In other words, you should be able to say, hey, you know something? When I was raising my family, trying to save 500 bucks was tough. But now that the kids have left the house, just myself or my wife and myself, we can save $2,000 a month. You should save that extra money. You should be in the highest earning potential of your whole entire life. This is especially true for people who've been working for the same company for a long time. Do consider an end of career change unless you've got a really good pension with the company you're with. Unfortunately, those are now becoming rare and far and few between. If you do, then I would say stick and get your pension. But if you don't, then you really need to consider, maybe I need to do a career change for the last 3 or 4 years of my career, because that's a way to get a bump of 10, 20, 30, 40%. You might be underpaid where you're at right now. But so that's another thing. Know what your salary range is for what you do. And also, if there's some courses you can take to just fill in some blanks, to get some certifications, to bump you up a little bit more. Every dollar more you can earn per hour is worth $2,000 more a year that you can save. Even 2,000 bucks could make a huge difference. It's just incredible how you can just make a difference here. Also too, another way is to look at all your expenses and look at them with a critical eye. One of the things I did after we moved into a smaller house is we actually went through all our expenses and said, do we really need this expense? And you'd say, well, how can you get rid of the phone bill? How can you get rid of the internet? How can you get rid of this or that? There are some expenses that we take on that are negotiable. Some of them are unneeded, so wipe them out. If you're not really watching Netflix, cancel the subscription. Well, you might think it's only $20, it's only 25 bucks, but that's $250 a year or more. If you don't need it, save it. Some things are negotiable. Like, for example, because my family's grown up now, I don't need to cover a huge amount of life insurance on my life or my wife's life anymore. I significantly reduced my life insurance. And I've also cut my wife's life insurance. That's a big one, especially in old age. Life insurance gets really expensive in old age. So you should really look at all your expenses. Look at your house. If you own a house, is it time to sell? It's nice to be in the house you've known all these years. Maybe it's time to sell and get into a smaller place, get into an apartment. There's one couple who is on YouTube that really kind of got me onto this. They saved away $400,000, but they basically took the whole value of their house and put it in their retirement, and it was the way for them to kind of get in and go and retire and go enjoy their lives. Now they're going to Portugal and they're doing things in their lives. Yeah, they rent an apartment, but that's all they need. And it minimizes their expenses, and it also minimizes their fuss factor, so to speak. So think of that too. But really, if you're in your 60s, you gotta get serious about this. You can't wait any longer. You've already waited too long. I'm telling you, it's time to talk to a local financial advisor. See where you're at. See what you need, understand how much the government's going to be paying you, because I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's not going to be much. Sort yourself out. And like I said earlier, if you are younger than 60, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, take this advice very seriously. You do this now. If you're, let's say, 25 years old and you do this now, oh my goodness, you will be in such a good place when you getting into your 50s and 60s. There's a possibility by the time you hit 50, you're financially done. You could work because you want to work. And that's an incredible feeling. My name is Frank Thomas. You should be seeing another video coming up here on the screen. And it's a video that's all about choosing your battles. If you're interested, take a peek at it. I think you'll enjoy that video. And if you do, I'll see you over there. Otherwise, have a great day.